Hello, one and all. This is Off to Battle with Jeremiah Bork, and I am currently doing a replay of the first battle of a new campaign against Kroq-Gar. And also, I've turned the auras and everything to blue. I thought that would do well with these desert maps. This campaign situation, Kroq-Gar declared war on me stupidly early, and I have to fight this with two armies relatively early. I was trying to make for experimentation with how I could beef up my armies. Now this is the starting Shanti Great Bow unit for Khalida in Warhammer 3. This is a second one from just buildings that I made for the cheapest possible price. I mean, they are tier 2 buildings. They have a reinforcing army and I have a reinforcing. So what I tried to do was lay an ambush for when he eventually did come after me. But I couldn't really go after him because I couldn't really go after a settlement garrison and his pretty, for this part of the game, high tier army. Well, I say that. It's actually not. This particular one is not because it was that early. He has a lot of Saurus warriors of different types without shields. So I thought, okay, even if it hurts, I can probably do okay against him. But I wanted to scout with my skeleton horse archers. Just get him in there. And get some idea of what's going on. Now, while these deployments are taking place, I'll speed things up a bit. Because they're getting their reinforcements, I'm getting mine. Now we have a little skirmishing going on. They have a Skink Priest of Heavens, which will be an annoyance throughout the battle. We have stuff like this Cold One Spear Rider unit. Usually, I mean, I fight a lot of dwarfs, says Khalida. And obviously, they don't have cavalry, but lizardmen tend to have a large cavalry advantage. I've been messing with my recording settings also, trying to get this to where it's decent. And there we have our Casket of Souls, trying to play MVP as usual. So now you see the setup that I've put together as best as I can. And there's not much I can do against... Look at the aftermath of that. Not much I can do, except suck it up. So I have chariots here, back up for when the battle gets serious. I have a couple of... My secondary army had 2 Ushabti units. And if you watch more of my videos, you'll see what ends up happening a little bit later in the campaign. Well, I'll say a little bit. It's actually a fair bit later. But that army serves with distinction for quite a few turns. Now we have the skulls coming in. And yeah, they have a dinosaur here. Pharaoh Stegonon, I think. They're pretty nasty. So, although they do have regular shields, I am having my skeleton horse archers just plink at the skink lords. And then more from my regular archers coming in. Because that's going to be how I damage over time this army for the most part. And I do try to get this whirlwind putting in some pain, but it's not really behaving. Still, it was at a relatively safe distance from my troops. And now I have this action going on here. I'm trying to just make sure that the flank doesn't completely collapse. The Tomb Prince here, Halberds, as it says in infantry, that's a bug, I think it was. Yeah, he has a skeleton horse. So he is just doing his job there, trying to keep them honest. And there I took out a few of my own. I hate when my own artillery does that, but it's part of the hazard of the job. Here I have my Shati trying very hard to deal with these Cold-Wind Riders. Spear Riders would be more of a problem because they have better anti-large. I start targeting the area rather than the units, but even so, the inaccuracy makes for a bit of a problem. Ignore the alarm in real life. I'm recording this video before I have an appointment in an hour. So, yeah. Kroq-Gar is making his move over here, trying to help collapse this flank, which I don't want to collapse. I really don't want it to collapse, so I've got to try and deal with him. The skeletons actually do have charge reflection, so they're not going to go down super easily, but yeah, it's a lot to manage, but I'm just trying to isolate some units, even sacrificing some carrying just to pin these Cold-Wind Riders there, and then I just end up bringing the Skeleton Horsemen just to help morale shock them. Not the ideal units to use them against. So here we have more of a blob here. But they haven't, I mean, they got one Armine Archer, it's just too much spells. But Castle of Skulls here, just devastating. To the skink cohort ranks. We have these Spear Riders trying to break through the Spearmen again. And doing a pretty good job of doing some damage here. This may be the summon shot to you, because I saw the skink horse having a hard time. But yeah, this is definitely not a cheap victory at all. I have Khalida going in here and it's causing some trouble. We managed to collapse this flank, which lets us bring in some people and do what we can here. And in the meantime, all these, it helps that all these skeleton archer units that are still just firing all day and all night, they're dealing with units without shields. Having said that, it's not exactly, you can't do a clean shot here. We have our own troops all over the place. Kroq over here. Finally, looks like we're going to shatter these Spear Riders, but yeah, I'm just trying to not have my Toon Prince be in battle with Kroq-Gar at too early a stage, because he is providing leadership. And we wanted to just, try to keep this in some sort of intact state. And they're even getting rock coming back. That's the thing with Lizardmen and Kroq-Gar specifically. His troops love to come back a lot. They're very hardy. This is on hard difficulty, not legendary, but even so, you see that Kroq-Gar is practically a one-man army, even at level 12. We're trying to wheel down this skink piece of heavens, but it hasn't really happened. Some blessed units in there. And at this point, we're starting to finally get the sense that we're wheeling them down enough. Here I had Khalida use her Venom Wave to help take care of the blob here. And start collapsing more of this front. And then we can start having our archers fire in this direction too. While I still had some very dangerous heroes here. Casket of Skulls almost... Casket of Souls almost out of ammo. The Screaming Skulls hitting our own troops in the back enough. It was a bad angle, sure. But we actually got the army losses penalty, and Kroq-Gar, with nearly full health, is heading for the hills. And after this, it was just extending the battle a tiny bit to try and get whatever extra kills that we could. But there wasn't much left to do. there was this skink priest who I realized I really wanted dead, but could I actually do it? Because I mean, he's not immortal at level 11, obviously, but I had to run over somebody or other. Yeah, I ran over this Tomb King from a secondary army. I try to have uh, them give him some room, but he got away. He got away. So, so we lost these spearmen, all the Source Warriors. We lost one archer unit to spells. We lost a chariot unit because it was stuck in the Kroq-Gar area. And we had skulls. I mean, this doesn't include our friendly fires. Casket of Skull, Casket of Souls, 25k damage. The regular shop T here, not bad, and you see that they're well, the great bow ones are full health. The melee ones doing double the damage, and they're doing pretty well. Actually, I had these archer units do pretty well. All this stuff really varies here, but this was because these are the survivors that got to stick in the battle. And they had lots of ammunition because that's Khalida's trait. I didn't know I could do that. Okay, so you see that the putting the Shabti here, rushing these units actually was very helpful. And I even got good value out of the Skeleton Horseman units, Skeleton Chariots. I had other archers chipping in here too, but they didn't actually do nearly as much for whatever reason, probably positioning. And that's the battle. The thing is that Kroq-Gar didn't exactly go away, so there's going to be a few others of these just because it became this silly, epic rivalry, which is not a bad thing, but I didn't expect it to morph into what it did. Anyway, until we're off to battle again, take care, have fun,